in any of this, whatever we have discussed so far, before we move ahead to the next point? Clear है बिल्कुल?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So moving on ahead now. So we are now going to come on to two power driven vessels first, those rules. Now, so let us say we need to understand. We're coming on to rule number 15 first. Okay, we'll be doing 15, 16, and 17 as one lot, as one set of rules. This is what we're going to do. So we are starting off with rule number 15, crossing situation. All right. Can somebody read the rule for me, please? Anybody in the class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, crossing situation.
Mhm.
When two power-driven vessels
Mm.
are are crossing so as to involve risk of collision, the vessel which has the other on her starboard side
Mm.
shall keep out of the way and shall,
Mm.
if the circumstances of the case admit,
Mm.
avoid crossing ahead of the other vessel.
Okay. So the rule is a very small rule. Let's try to understand the meaning of it. Two power driven vessels are crossing so as to involve a risk of collision. That means the risk of collision is yes. The vessel which has the other on her starboard side, shall keep out of the way. That means becomes the give way vessel, and shall, if the circumstances of the case admit, shall circumstances of the case admit, avoid crossing ahead. Of the other vessel. Avoid crossing ahead of the other vessel. Okay. So let's try to understand the meaning of it. So I have a situation. Vessel A, vessel B. Both are power driven vessels. So rule number 15 is applicable. Risk of collision is, let's say, yes. Vessel A has the vessel B on her starboard side. So vessel A becomes the give way vessel. So what will vessel A do?
Alter
Any idea?
goes to
Alter goes to
starboard,
starboard, sir.
pass astern. Will clear.
Alter course to starboard, pass astern for the other vessel. Okay. Can A go to port?
No, sir.
Anybody else in the class?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
She can
Yes,
go.
sir. She can go
No.
if she's maintaining a proper CPA. She can go.
She can go. Okay. Can she maintain her course?
No, sir, because इसको collision exists.
She can maintain her course.
So she can go to starboard, she can go maintain her course, she can go to port. That's what you all are saying. तो फिर इस रूल की जरूरत क्या है अगर ये सब करना है तो?
So we have to follow this rule.
No, my question is, what is the rule telling you? You are telling me she can go to starboard, she can maintain her course, and she can go to port. All three she can do.
No, sir. She has to turn starboard side to keep clear of that vessel, according to this rule.
But where is it saying so?
Sir, we can do that as per the rule. This is if the circumstances of the case admit. So we can also maintain the course. We can go to port also if our circumstances admit.
So please try to understand whatever you were saying just now. If that was true, तो फिर ये रूल 15 की तो जरूरत ही नहीं थी. क्या जरूरत थी रूल 15 की? उसको वेसल ए को बोल देते भैया डू एनीथिंग यू वांट, डू व्हाटएवर यू वांट, यू हैव योर ओन मर्जी. एक सिंपल लैंग्वेज में उसको बोल सकते थे ना. यस और नो? You want her to go to starboard also, you want her to maintain course also, and you want her to go to port also. तो उसको बोल देते भैया do anything. They could have said that also in the rules. Why write such a complicated language? And this is where the whole rigmarole of this confusion starts amongst all the deck officers. Rule 15, 16, 17 की interpretation में ही गड़बड़ है. That is the reason why I started with that only. I didn't touch any other rule. Half of you are saying I cannot go to port, half of you are saying I can go to port. Another half is saying we can go, आगे से भी जा सकता हूँ. Circumstances of the case admit लिखा है. अगर ऐसे होने लग जाता तो that is the reason why the confusion is arising in the first place. So we need to understand the meaning of this word, avoid crossing ahead. Can A cross ahead of B is the question.
No, sir.
नहीं सर.
No, sir.
Can A cross ahead of B? That's a moot question. Because that will determine because what is the meaning of this word avoid? Can she? Can she not? That is the determining factor. And what is the meaning of the word shall? We need to understand all of these so as to be able to determine what is going to be our future course of action. So in the rules, you have these word may, shall. इनका मतलब क्या है? May, you may do this. That means, do you have a choice or not? You shall do this. You shall avoid doing this. Shall avoid going to port. Supposing the rule says that. Can I go to port?
No sir.
So there are three basic principles in law. This is in general. There are three basic principles in law. General law, okay? You will find the word may. You may do this. You may do the this so and so. So what is it this word may is trying to tell you? Is it trying to tell you you should do this or you have an option? The word may in law, okay, does not mean the English word may, that you have a choice. Okay, it means shall. मतलब मैंडेटरी है. You may do this. मतलब you shall do this. मैंडेटरी है, ऑप्शन नहीं है. Then shall means shall. The word shall also means shall. मैंडेटरी है. You shall do this. Shall also means mandatory. Avoid means shall not. You'll avoid crossing ahead. You shall not cross ahead. ठीक है, ये मतलब क्लियर हो गया. So agar
Yes, sir.
may means shall and shall means shall, then why have may and shall in the rules? Why not just write shall everywhere? The reason for that is because the rules have been framed for us at the operative level. At the operative level, this is the meaning. In case you have a collision and the case goes to a court of inquiry, then the lawyers are going to interpret it in a different way. But as far as we guys are concerned, we are at the operative level. At the operative level, we need to understand, for us, the rules are sacrosanct, they are mandatory. हमें फॉलो करना है. हम अपना दिमाग नहीं लगा सकते कि ये इसका मतलब ये है, सर्कमस्टेंसेस है, ये है. हमें वो नहीं सोचना. The rules are you shall do this and you shall not do this. बस. रूल्स हमें ऑप्शन नहीं देता. सो मैंडेटरी है और अवॉइड का मतलब है नहीं करना है. Shall not do this. Is this okay with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. Now coming back to the rules again, rule 15 पे वापस आ रहा हूं मैं, coming back, ताकि अगर ये हम समझ गए हैं तो shall मैंडेटरी, अवॉइड shall not क्रॉस हेड. मैंडेटरी है भैया, नॉट क्रॉस हेड. ये रूल बोल रहा है. समझ में आ गई? सो ये वाला तो रूल्ड आउट है. यू कैन नॉट से आई मेंटेन माई कोर्स एंड स्पीड. बिल्कुल गलत हो जाएगा. अब बात आ जाती है रूल्स की कि अच्छा मेरी, अगर मैं स्टार्बोर्ड जा रहा हूं तो मैं क्या बोल रहा हूं, इंडिकेशन दे रहा हूं ब्रावो को कि आई एम नॉट इंटेंडिंग टू क्रॉस हेड ऑफ यू. सो दिस एक्शन is absolutely right. If I go to port, then I'm giving an indication to this guy, I may cross ahead of you. So therefore, this is also not ruled, not acceptable. Because then I'm giving an indication to this guy that I intend crossing ahead of you. Whether I actually do or not is a separate issue. So the rules, when they were framed, They were framed, and the lights which were put, this side is the green light, this side is the red light. ये red है. So the green, red, what are they indicating? They were an indicator to the officer of the watch, own ship. Which side can I go? Which side I should not go? That's how our side lights are defined. Similarly, this side, ये इस जहाज की, ये इसकी ग्रीन है और ये इसकी रेड है, तो ये इस साइड नहीं जाएगा, ये इस साइड जाएगा. Similarly, ये इस साइड जाएगा, इस साइड नहीं जाएगा. That is how this green and red lights were designed, so as to give an indicator to the own ship officer, OW, which side to go and which side not to go. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, can A go like this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Negative. Negative. Rules are not defined for that. This is an alteration of course to port. You are indicating to this guy that I intend going to port. Rules are not designed for making goal chakkars in the middle of the ocean. Similarly, can you go like this? Answer is no. This is alteration of course to port. Both of them are alteration of course to port. The rules were not designed for making circles in the middle of the ocean. So if anybody is going to tell you that, please tell them that you're totally wrong. I know there are lots of officers at sea who still believe कि हम गोल चक्कर काट सकते हैं. They're totally wrong. Is that okay? Is this fine?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
सर जैसे ही क्रॉसिंग सिचुएशन तब एग्जिस्ट करती है जब हम सामने वाले के पोर्ट साइड में और हमारे स्टारबोर्ड साइड में दूसरी वेसल हो. ओके, लाइक हमारे स्टारबोर्ड में से सामने वाली जो वेसल है वो क्रॉस कर रही है, हम उसके पोर्ट साइड में है ना.
That's right.
ओके, तो अगर सामने वाली वेसल की लाइक स्पीड 3 नॉट या 4 नॉट के आसपास हो और हमारी 11 या 13 या कोई भी हमारी लाइक स्पीड ज्यादा हो, तो उस टाइम पे भी हमें सेम एक्शन करना है ना.
Is risk, if you have to decide, is risk of collision existing?
ओके, बट ये भी तो हम मतलब रूल के अकॉर्डिंग हम ये भी तो करते हैं कि अगर हमें लग रहा है कि थोड़ी सी भी रिस्क है तब हम ये वाला एक्शन लेंगे. लाइक
There is no nothing known as थोड़ी सी risk और पूरी बड़ी risk ना.
मतलब वी आर नॉट कंफर्म येट.
How do you decide this thing? How do you decide whether risk of collision exists? How do you
That's what
decide?
I'm asking, sir.
So by checking bearing.
By checking the bearing. So you will first take so we come to case number 1. So we come to case number 1. This is vessel A. This is vessel B. You are on vessel A. What will be your action? This is your own vessel. This is the target vessel. You will take series of successive visual compass bearing. No radar bearings. Visual compass bearings from bridge wing repeaters. Each of the words is very, very important. What is the meaning of series? सीरीज का क्या मतलब है?
रेगुलर बेयरिंग.
नो, सीरीज का मतलब है मोर देन इक्वल टू 3. ये सीरीज है. 2 इज नॉट अ सीरीज. 3 or more is series. That means number of bearings that you take is the meaning of series. If I take 2 bearings, that is not a series. If I take 3 or more, that means 4, 5, 3 or more, that is a series. What is the meaning of successive? Anybody? Successive का क्या मतलब है?
Sir, without any error.
No.
Regular intervals in a continuation of, sir.
Equal interval. If I take a 1 bearing now, next bearing I take after 2 seconds or 2 minutes, sorry. Then my third bearing should be after 2 minutes. I cannot take 1 bearing after 2 minutes and another bearing after 1 minute. That is not successive. It is not at equal interval. Okay. Next, they should be visual compass bearing. Okay. They should not be radar bearings. I should be able to take them visually from the compass. Which compass should I take them from? Bridge wing repeater. Not from the center console that we have been doing on the bridge. They should be taken from the bridge wing repeater.
Why is that, sir?
Okay. Can somebody tell me why should the bearings be taken from bridge wing repeater?
That because of the reflection.
Sir, because of the clear view screen which is in front, sir, and there might be an error due to refraction, sir.
Okay.
That's
Okay. So one is the clear bridge wing repeater. Repeater does not have.
no. Why we should not take, sir? Why we should not take? We should not take from the middle repeater in the bridge because we will get an error because of the refraction as we get while taking azimuth or amplitude.
Okay. So one is the refraction error. Anybody else? Any other reason? So arc of visibility. The arc of visibility. You've got various obstructions. You got various obstructions from the center console. From the center console, you can only take certain terrestrial bearings, cannot take celestial bearings, cannot take celestial bearings. If you are not taking If you are taking bearings only from the central console, not taking from the bridge wing repeater, means you are only keeping a radar watch. You're only keeping a radar watch. And if you are keeping only a radar watch, then there could be the presence of targets around you which could not be picked up by the radar. So there is a presence of targets around you not picked up by the radar. If you are not going out to bridge wing repeaters and you are only remaining inside, then you're not meeting the requirements of Rule 5. Look out. Rule 5 lookout says you shall keep a lookout by sight and by hearing. Sight and hearing. And if you are only within inside the bridge wing, you're only inside the bridge, not going to the bridge wing.
सर प्लीज 7 पॉइंट रिपीट करें और स्क्रीन खड़ गई थी मेरी.
Your Rule 5 lookout says proper lookout by sight and hearing.
ओके सर.
If you are taking bearings only from inside, then you are not complying with Rule 5 requirement of sight and hearing. If you are not going out to the bridge wing repeaters, then you are not aware of the changing scenario outside and you are not having what is called as situational awareness. You're not having situational awareness and you're not aware of any targets which would be coming from behind the vessel. Targets coming from astern of the vessel. And it is because of all these reasons that you must take series of successive visual compass bearings from bridge wing repeaters. So because of all these 9 points.
Sir, what is the eighth point, sir? Please, can you explain again, sir?
Situational awareness. If you are not going out to the bridge wing repeaters, to the bridge wings, you are not aware of the changing scenario outside. The environment is changing continuously. You are not situationally aware of that changed scenario. If you remain only glued on inside the bridge wing, inside the bridge, and not go outside to the bridge wing.
Sir, please explain number 4.
Point number 4, cannot take celestial bearings. You will not be able to take celestial bearings using the central console.
Okay, sir.
Sir, there is one question, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, when we are navigating, sir, in open waters, like we encounter fishing traffic or normal sea traffic, so we when we are navigating, we mostly object the points like 1 point starboard, we have a fishing vessel, sir, or 2 point port, we are seven. But after that, like after a beam, we don't report. So, is there should be a practice to report all the points which we are coming behind of the vessel
Absolutely.
also?
That's right. That's right. Once you get your own Secondmates COC, you're not going to be reporting to anybody. You are going to be an इंडिपेंडेंट वॉच कीपिंग ऑफिसर, किसको रिपोर्ट करोगे?
Sir, that time if master is
you'll be independently on the bridge, ना?
yes,
So अगर आप independently on the bridge हो, तो your instructions to your AB is going to be, you see any light, please tell me, please report to me. Yes or no?
yes sir.
Are you going to tell your AB, अच्छा, don't give me any, don't report to me जो पीछे से कोई लाइट आ रही है उसके बारे में मत बताना? Are you going to say all that?
No sir.
Then that's the point we are discussing right now. So, having done this, the second point, the purpose of doing this is to determine risk of collision. Let's say ROC, risk of collision, is yes. Now, what action would you take on this thing? I'll give one short blast and alter course to starboard and pass well clear, PWC, and pass well clear. And this one shot blast is as per which rule? Rule number 34 alpha.
34.
Rule number 34 alpha, maneuvering and warning signal. An alteration of course to starboard is as per which rule? Rule number 15. Avoid crossing ahead. I cannot cross ahead. So I can only alter course to starboard. Crossing situation. This is going to be. Then the cross question is going to be, can you alter course to port? Can you give two short blasts and alter course to port? No, sir, I cannot. Because I cannot cross ahead of the other vessel. As per rule 15. Is this okay with everyone? This is going to be your standard answer now. And point number 1, point number 2, and point number 3 will be common for every situation. कोई भी जहाज होने दो, कोई भी होने दो. 1, 2, 3 will become a standard answer. Take series of successive visual compass bearing from bridge wing repeater. Standard answer. Purpose is to determine risk of collision. Let's say risk of collision is yes. My duty to keep clear. You have to tell your duty. If risk of collision is yes, it's my duty to keep clear. My duty to keep clear. Is case number 1 okay with everyone? Any doubts anybody has? Is it okay?
Yes.
All right. So this will become your starting point of all the cases that we'll be doing. 1, 2, 3 आपका standard reply होने वाला है every time I ask you. And this will become a standard reply. And the methodology will be like this. ठीक है? All right? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. See you then. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you sir.
Bye. Bye.